All right. We're doing good here. We're doing good.
Alrighty. I'll take that as a positive thing.
And 3, 2, and 1. Hello, this is McAfee,
Kent Deere.
and this is a brand new show. We're just going to call it I Love Mississippi.
I do for a fact.
Because we both love Mississippi. Now, in the background, you will see a beautiful flyover of what is envisioned for Jackson, Mississippi.
Yeah.
It's called Great City, Mississippi. And you know, why not?
We've got a history of great talented things and people here. We'll go over it today, I'm sure.
Exactly. So this show is about the gospel of Mississippi. It's about spreading the good news about Mississippi. And you and I have done a show before, 10 years ago, when I wrote the Mississippi Entertainment Industry Investment Act, which was a study committee that actually brought us here today. I've taken that information that we did through the legislature, and now we've written something called the Mississippi Senate Bill 2424 in the year 2025, long name for modifying the community college system to expand workforce development from allied health, CDL, trucking, welding, and plumbing to include entertainment-related careers. Because after all, the state slogan is
What is it?
Mississippi, birthplace of American
Oh, that's
music.
right.
But you can't feed your family doing music.
Well, I was just thinking about some of the great musicians that have made a gazillion dollars over the years, and some of them whom I was privileged to know. Remember Guy Hovis?
I do remember Guy Hovis.
Yeah, I used to sing with him years ago.
Did you?
After he retired, but he would come to our church and we'd do things together, and it was fascinating. And Lester Center, who was an opera singer, and Morgan Freeman,
Morgan
from
Freeman.
Mississippi.
He has a new club down on the
I saw
coast
that.
that I heard is doing very well.
I've never met him, but
Have
he's
you never met Morgan Freeman?
No, I haven't.
I've met him a couple of times.
He's a legend in his own time. I'll
He
tell you
really
that.
is. And more importantly, I think he would be the model for how the new type of, they call it the creative economy, how creative individuals can be the best in their field in the nation and still live in Mississippi. Because Morgan Freeman did not move to California. He stayed in Mississippi for much of his career.
Sure did, and we've got people like Oprah Winfrey, who's Kosciuszko, Mississippi.
Morgan Freeman from Charleston,
yeah,
Greenwood area. Yes.
And we've got famous authors. I went to school at Ole Miss back many years ago, and was fascinated by the history of that, and William Faulkner, and
Who was the Midnight Train to Georgia guy who wrote Midnight Train to Georgia? I'll think of his name in a little while. He was a football player at Ole Miss.
I'll tell you.
It'll pop in our head.
Yeah, it's on my list. We'll talk about it. Yeah, he was a quarterback up there.
Yes, he was.
But we've got Oxford itself is finally coming into its name, but you got William Faulkner, and you got Tennessee Williams, John Grisham, Eudora Welty, Greg Isles. I grew up a block from Eudora Welty across from Belhaven College.
Wow.
I knew Ms. Welty when she was running little old boys out of her yard. But
wow.
it's a fascinating thing to know about people like that were our neighbors, or whether we actually knew them or not, but what they accomplished in the world of music and literature and of sports and other things.
And, a funny thing about people from Mississippi is ironic. I have found a pattern that whatever industries they were in, they weren't just proficient in that industry. They became the standard by which everybody else in that industry for years to come were measured. I mean, look at Steve McNair, or Walter Payton, or Brett Favre, or Marcus Dupree or John Grisham, they dominated their industry so much that they became the standard, as was the case with guitarists. The Rolling Stones, the Beatles, many of them said that their major influences as guitarists was Muddy Waters and people from Mississippi.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what we have is something that really is astonishing for a state as small as Mississippi to have given and contributed Comcast, which came from Tupelo.
I didn't realize that.
It's now one of the largest. It's a $2-3 billion company. It moved to Philadelphia, but it started in Mississippi.
I pay them a lot of money every month.
Yeah, I do too. A little too much money. FedEx, one of the top 3 U.S. parcel services.
A guy I went to high school with and college with worked for FedEx very many years and retired and started a big one of the internet companies. I forget the name of the name. Jim Barksdale.
Jim Barksdale.
Yeah, he's a dear friend of mine. And
was it Netscape? It was one of those companies.
I believe it was Netscape. Yeah.
Wow.
And there are a lot of people who have been very successful and they interacted all over the world. Not just they weren't just in Mississippi, but they were people like performers and LeAnn Rimes and Robin Roberts. I've never seen her lately, but she was on the Today Show for years.
She's still on there.
Is she? Okay.
Yes. And LeAnn was from Pearl. She was from right here.
That's right.
Yes.
Lance Bass, who
from Clinton.
Clinton, and
NSYNC.
It's incredible. We could. I got a whole list of because I started writing them down when I knew I was going to talk to you about it.
Yes.
But the people around here don't know her yet, but 2 doors down from me lives a lady who was just inducted to the Women Songwriters Hall of Fame.
Really?
Julie Giroux.
Julie Giroux. Are you serious?
I'm serious, and we've got so much going on here that people don't know about, and that's, as I understand what you're doing, is trying to bring some of that together. And
it's like what we do in the Christian church here. The gospel is to spread the good news, share the good news. And there are so many misconceptions about Mississippi. Now, you go all over the world and people have heard of Mississippi, but the connotations that they've really heard about, a lot of those things were true, but they're not the only thing.
Well, that's right. I mean, we've had some crazy things happen, but 2 things. Number one, they're the smallest minority these days. They're not anything like they used to be.
Yeah.
And other folks have the same type of thing.
Absolutely.
Human beings live in New Jersey and in Mississippi and California and everything, and we've all got the same basic weaknesses. But what you're doing, I think, is great, trying to accentuate the positive, as the song says, because there's an awful lot positive about Mississippi.
I'm gonna just go a little bit further. So when I'm in Memphis and I'm talking to people from Memphis, and they are like, "Oh, you're from Mississippi," and I say, "Well, guess what else is from Mississippi? If you look, you tell me if Memphis would be the same without these 3 things: without Graceland, without B.B. King, and without FedEx. All of those are Mississippi assets.
That's right.
And of course, they've got a Jimmy Rogers thing down there. Without that, Memphis would not be the Memphis that it is. And I go further. When I'm in Atlanta and the Battery, which is the Atlanta Braves $60 billion development, or city in the city, I tell them Ted Turner's father was from Mississippi. This is why you see the old Turner billboards. That was his dad. Ted Turner started CNN, and he had the Atlanta Braves. So imagine Atlanta without CNN or the Atlanta Braves. Imagine Coca-Cola that was first bottled by the Beatenhorns in Vicksburg, and Delta Airlines that was first seeded by the Beatenhorns, although it came from
I think their
Montreal.
first port of landing was in Mississippi, wasn't it?
I think it was. It was a Delta.
Flew from somewhere to here the first flight.
So those things are cornerstones of Atlanta, cornerstones of Memphis, Tennessee. We won't get into Chicago and Motown in
Mhm.
California, but Mississippi seeds have germinated very, very well around the whole world.
They have.
And this conversation is really for young Mississippians in particular, because a lot of them, you hear about the brain drain.
Mhm.
They get out of high school and they can't wait to go
Yep.
anywhere but Mississippi. Well, when we start showing them that really Mississippi has given so much to the whole world, and it begs the question, why can those seeds not grow in Mississippi soil?
They can.
They can.
They can, and they do.
And they do.
But they're not. A lot of it has to do with the overall financing, I'm sure. I don't know all that for a fact, but I think more than anything, we're not aggressive
Yes.
about tooting our own horn, so to speak.
Absolutely. So, and it's funny that you should say that, because Texas, what is Texas slogan? Don't mess with Texas.
Yeah, that's right.
What is New York's? Empire State.
Mhm.
If you want an empire, which is to say Rockefeller,
Mhm.
Carnegie, New York is the place you go for an empire. And ours is the Magnolia State,
Yeah.
which doesn't have the same punch, but Dr. Jim Brewer, over the last 20 years or so, created Mississippi, the birthplace of America's music.
I think he's
And
right.
so I think that this is an action adverb that can allow us to get everybody on the same page to say, no, it's Mississippi first,
Mhm.
number one.
And we don't have anything here in form of, you're talking about this legislation you just passed. We don't have anything here to back that up. We don't have a building
Yes.
or an organization or anything else. I think about, I never, before my time, but Jimmy Rogers from
Yes.
Meridian started all
Meridian, yes.
that, and he is so famous all worldwide, and people have no idea that started in
And so
Meridian.
let's do the math to add it up so that we know. First country song credited to Jimmy Rogers from Meridian. The first R&B song was from a guy they called Iceman in Chicago. The first rock and roll song was Rocket 88 by Ike Turner. Then Elvis Presley came along. Ike was older than Elvis Presley. And so all these things germinated from blues, turned to gospel, turned to country, it really is unbelievable that a state with less than 3 million people is the birthplace of American music. So much so that the Grammy Association in California licensed their only other facility in the United States in Cleveland, Mississippi, because Mississippi had more Grammy Award winning artists and producers than any other state per capita. So when you talk about tooting your own horn, I think we've earned the right to say.
I think you have, you're right. And if we did, they talk about poverty in Mississippi, and there's a lot of it, but a lot of that's because we're not aggressively seeking the type of recognition for these things that you're talking about that would bring more jobs and opportunity and stuff like that.
And to your field, you've been in financial services for
40 years.
For 40 years. So to bring this from just a goodwill philanthropic theoretical realm into the monetization of this thing is that not being able to toot your own horn and know your own assets, you're not able to capitalize off
That's
of it
true.
and monetize it and quantify how many taxes you get from having the next Oprah or next Elvis, because they weren't just artists. Graceland is a machine. So that's real estate, that's workforce development, there's all these things that bring taxes in that are making the state of Tennessee more prosperous than Mississippi. So this bill is a converging of positive Mississippi, getting your self-esteem up and understanding what your assets are, and getting the government to modify the community college system. Really, it is to mitigate the harm that's coming within artificial intelligence. If you go in your local grocery store now, Walmart, you'll see 36 registers, but 4 people at those registers. Self-checkout is AI. So the proliferation of AI is now going to spread to Amazon fulfillment centers. They'll have it full of robots. But what is going to happen to the humans who were working those jobs? Well, a robot can't play a guitar.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
A
right.
robot can't stand on stage in front of people and tell the story of Mississippi to a bunch of tourists in a live venue. So this really is a mitigation tool so that AI, when its proliferation is full blown in about 6 or 7 years, that Mississippi that has not the greatest education system, not the greatest financial literacy, the lowest median income, we've got to not sit on the train tracks and think that it's not a train coming. So that's what this is.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
going
that's
to allow
great.
us to monetize it.
I'm certainly all for it in principle, and in any way that I or any of my associates can get involved and help, because Mississippi is like, I've lived here a long time.
And you could have lived anywhere.
Anywhere. Mm-hmm.
And you've had people like Bill Bailey, who is why you and I met.
Yeah.
They developed a renaissance, and they are probably not even arguably, the most successful developers in Mississippi history that I can find. I don't know about the coast because they got the casinos, but they built the Renaissance and all kinds of things. So we all share the same fundamental belief that Mississippi is. If people in New York say, I love New York, and they think it's the greatest place on earth, and the people in Texas and the people in California, I happen to believe that Mississippi is the greatest place on earth.
I do too. I've had many opportunities to move on, and not only have I planted my roots here all this time, but I have 2 children, 6 grandchildren, and 4 great-grandchildren, and they all are from Mississippi.
Wow.
So I'm very proud of that, and they've all done well. None of us is able to purchase a bank or anything like that.
Yes.
But we've all had happy lives and good lives in Mississippi, and it's been good to us. It kind of depends on how you look at it, and sometimes we are fed a bunch of stuff about money is everything, success is everything, and da. Well, money and success,
they're relative.
Yeah, and they can't buy happiness. Happiness is what it's all about. And
so if you look at most of the names that's on that list, including the literary authors and the athletes and the business people, coming from Mississippi, they didn't have any money.
That's right. And let me tell you what, I hadn't even mentioned the cultural side of it. One of the greatest opera singers of our whole time is Leontine Price from Laurel, Mississippi.
Yes.
And I Googled her before you came just to see she's still alive, according to that.
I did not know
Still
that.
lives in Laurel and vocalizes every day.
Live in Laurel?
Yeah.
Do you remember on our radio show that we did years ago, I brought Benjamin Wright on.
Mm-hmm.
Benjamin Wright is from Greenville, Mississippi. He has contributed over 100 million album sales. He's a music arranger. Michael Jackson, Boogie Wonderland, Gladys Knight, Aretha Franklin, Temptations. And so I went out on my own dime. I had heard about him and went out to LA and sat down with him and saw that he was a real guy. And I brought him back here. This was 2004. We gave him a day at the Capitol, inducted him in the Mississippi Musicians Hall of Fame. And this is 2025, and he just got the Governor's Arts Award. So a full 20 years he has been engaged. And so with Ms. Leontine or any of those people, part of this process is going back and getting our people who have done well and say, hey, I don't know what your memory is of Mississippi. Sometimes it wasn't as good. It's, this happens a lot. Well, we love you, and we want to invite you back and edify you and give you your flowers while you live. And that way we get the benefit of historical figures.
That's right.
Engage with the young people.
A lot of them never left Mississippi except to pursue their careers. And Leontine Price is one of them. And you think about William Faulkner, and he lived in Oxford until he died.
And I remember Bill Haskell.
Yeah.
Bill Haskell was at William Morris, and he was over shows like The Cosby Show, Seinfeld. He was Miss America pageant, and I assume that was with Donald Trump back at that time.
Well, we just didn't. If we had the facilities and the foresight when these people were coming up, a lot of those things would have been produced right here in Mississippi.
And so let me
instead of-
drill down on that to be clear, because that's what this is about. You're right. Infrastructure is important. After the Great Depression, they had the Industrial Revolution, and titans like J.P. Morgan and John D. Rockefeller, they built steel mills, oil wells, and refineries, railroads. So you can't have is that Bill?
Yeah.
Bring him in. Bring him. Answer it. Then put him on speakerphone. That is amazing.
I cut him off.
Call him back. He's the reason that we're here. We'll put him on speakerphone. He could be on the tail end of this thing.
There you go.
There he is.
You there, buddy?
Oh, you cut him off.
Ah,
Yeah,
I
take your
did it
time.
again.
Take your time.
I'm not very good with this.
No, take your time. See if he feels
And it
like
has nothing
saying
to do
hello.
with my being from Mississippi, I assure you.
Yeah, there he is.
All right, I'm not gonna hang up on you this time. Hold. No, I didn't. But what'd you say?
Are you still up for New Orleans tomorrow?
Oh, tomorrow?
Yeah.
Could be. Yeah. I didn't realize it was what the others went with, but we'll do it.
All right. It looks like it'd be just you and I going. Kevin can't go. And I was just wondering, do we want to take
Take it.
John? What?
Take who?
John Taylor.
Oh, I don't know. Probably not.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Hey, say hello to Ferdinand McAfee.
Hello there, Mr. Bill Bailey. How you doing, sir?
Hey, how you doing? How you getting along?
I'm doing well. We're actually recording one tester episode of I Love Mississippi, and I talked about you not long ago because you're the reason that Ken and I know each
That's
other.
right.
And
That's
you
right.
love Mississippi like us.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
that's
think
great.
we think it's the best place on earth.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we all in agreement.
Now, so Mr. Bailey, you come from a family, and you all have been arguably the most successful economic developers in the state of Mississippi, correct? Would you say so?
No,
You wouldn't.
I'm not gonna brag on myself.
Well, I'm bragging on you. Y'all did the Renaissance and almost everything in Madison County over the last 50 years or more.
Yeah, it's been a long time. It's been my lifetime.
Wow. So what is the last thing you'd like to see in Mississippi? Well, I know you're around your family, so I won't hold you. Yeah.
Yeah, I would just like to see us keep on progressing.
Yes, sir.
Is what I'd like to see. I like progress.
Yes. Yes. Well, we're going to get you on one of these episodes sometime soon when you're feeling up to it.
Hey,
Okay.
I'll call you after a while, okay? And
About
we'll
15 minutes.
get the plans done.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
And so, during the Great Depression, the country was bankrupt. They needed to innovate their way out of that misery, because that's what you do. So, steel mills, oil wells, train tracks, and Mississippi. The reason that Comcast and Graceland and everything else is not in Mississippi is because we don't have the infrastructure, which would be sound stages, recording studios, performing arts schools. So after having given the world all of these assets from the creative economy and standpoint, and let's just break it down to the numbers. When you look at FedEx, when FedEx is not here, all of the taxes FedEx pays are in Tennessee and Graceland and the B.B. King Corporation, because we don't have the infrastructure. Comcast is in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. They're worth $200-300 billion. That's a lot of taxes. So Mississippi in a lot of areas does not have the resources because we only have $2 or $3 billion companies. Arkansas has like 7 or 8. New York may have 60. So I think it's time now to lay the infrastructure, which is what this bill will do. It will subsidize the community college to extend workforce development, to take kids who are creative in nature. So let me tell you what the process is. We're gonna take the sports championship model that has worked for years. Yeah, I turned it off.
Oh, okay.
I got tired of rewinding it.
Okay.
You know, I had to say state football champs, state
Uh-huh.
baseball champs, state basketball champs. So we passed a bill a couple of years ago called Mississippi Musicians Month. So you can have talent shows across the state a whole month. It's like going through different conferences, getting down to the state championships in sports. Take the top 25 or so entertainers from around the whole state and bring them down to like Iron Horse Grill.
Mm-hmm.
Do our own American Idol style, boiling it down to the top 10 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
Then you dump them in the community college system and you sharpen their core skill, whether they're a singer or a graphic artist or a literary author, but you teach them law and business, the basic level.
Mm-hmm.
So that way they know how to run their business better. Because each entertainer will need an agent, a lawyer, a CPA, a cook, a driver, if they're on that level.
Mm-hmm.
So one person can employ 5 or 6 people. So this is how you grow this thing in Mississippi. Then you do the performing arts schools, then you do the sound stage, and you do the infrastructure. Like during the Great Depression and Industrial Revolution, and I believe we've got an industry.
You might.
So Benjamin Wright actually helped Maynard Jackson with Atlanta. Atlanta got the Olympics in '96. Because they got the Olympics, they had to do a lot of other infrastructural things to be able to house and host the Olympics. Well, that mayor was smart. He then did an international jazz festival that brought people from all around the world to see the new infrastructure that was put here,
Mm-hmm.
the work that they had done. So leveraging one thing to another is important. Then they contracted with Benjamin Wright because they didn't have the infrastructure, studios, sound stages, performing arts school. Benjamin Wright did the music in California and they sent it back out to Atlanta and put it out under different producers' names like Babyface, whom everybody knows. And you did that enough and started getting enough 25 top 10 hits on the Billboard charts, everybody points to Atlanta. Compounded 40, 50 years later, Atlanta is an entertainment mecca.
Mm-hmm.
And so one artist, Taylor Swift, probably brings $3 billion to Tennessee a year with the level of activity that she generates all around her. So we have Amazon that has put $26 billion in the ground in Mississippi. $26 billion in Texas or California, New York may just be another Dollar General.
Mm-hmm.
But in Mississippi,
It's a lot of money.
it can change the median income in the state.
Well, how is this bill that you're talking about that went through Congress, how is that gonna,
Well,
not Congress, the
The
state
legislature.
legislature?
well,
Is it a funding bill or?
Well, this is a task force. So I started out with a study committee 10 years ago, the Mississippi Entertainment Industry Investment Act Task Force, where we brought in people like Benjamin Wright, Comcast, the Grammy Association, to tell us from a business perspective, if you were to expand in Mississippi and build out the infrastructure, because the government can't do it itself.
Mm-hmm.
During the Great Depression, it was Standard Oil, J.P. Morgan that was building out with the government. So in this case, it'll be entertainment companies. You may remember that Universal Music Group announced that they were going to build their first hotel, resort, and casino in Biloxi right before the pandemic, $1.3 billion.
Mm-hmm.
The pandemic hit, they built it in Brazil. We haven't heard anything else about it.
Mm-hmm.
So we need those companies to come in and do public-private partnerships with the government, just like they do when they brought Amazon or Nissan. You incentivize a company. They gave Amazon $1 billion of taxpayer incentives for them to put $26 billion in the ground. And so what this will do is seed that process.
Yeah.
So we went from a study committee, took those industry reports from those companies. Now we're putting it in this task force and actually moving it down the road. So we're gonna disrupt the community college system, because the community college system versus 4-year universities is supposed to get people into the workforce 2 years sooner.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna modify their curricula to provide those entertainers. So that
That makes
provides,
sense.
it provides the feeder to an industry. You have to have people to work in an industry.
Do you already have a group of people committed to doing this?
Yeah, well, I have a lady who just got her name is Dr. Tiffany Jefferson now. She did her dissertation on my study committee. So she talked to 5 community college presidents, and they come up with a plan as to how they can modify, and it's basically clusters of teachers on the campus or professors who are in the creative spaces. The music teacher that teaches piano. We're taking Hines, for example, because we're in that region. The ones who are in Hines video production over in Pearl, which I heard is pretty good. So you'll take 5 different professors on each campus that are in the creative space, and they'll form a cluster in the 5 different ones. And these clusters get together and modify the curriculum, and the ones who say montage theater dance, if someone is a dancer and an actor, they'll go to Hines. If somebody wants to work behind the scenes and do AV work or editing or post-production, then they'll go to Hines in Rankin County. If somebody wants to do something else, they go to GCC. So let the community college system regulate and disrupt itself. Then I'll come along and bring in a group of financiers and people who understand money, like Mr. Bailey and start a private sector Mississippi Development Company. And then we'll run alongside the government, and where there are holes, like I have access to a private equity fund out of New York that has $12 or $13 billion assets under management, and they are entertainment focused. They buy soccer teams and things like that around the world. They help fund Netflix and other things like that. So I'll bring them in.
I think that's good, and the advantage of that is if you've got the funds, rather than taking it to New York or somewhere where it's so competitive, you can come down here and build something and make it grow a lot faster and probably a lot more profitable.
We got a lot of 16 section land. This Mississippi is, so for scale, Alabama has about 6 million residents. But if you look at topography, the outline of Alabama and Mississippi, they're the mirror image of each other because they cut it down the middle. It was the Mississippi Territory, and they cut it and made it Alabama. So how can Alabama have 6 million residents and Mississippi have only 3? That means you have a lot of opportunities to develop land. So this is really a proverbial gold mine.
Yeah.
So we're going to prepare to wrap this, but that's what I wanted to talk to you about.
I think it's a great concept, and anything that any way I can contribute, I'll be happy to. And because I believe that there's no more place in the country that I know of where there's so much opportunity, because the competition is a lot less, the costs are a lot less. We're located not centrally, but we're not stuck off in a horrid thing somewhere. We got two or three interstates that intersect here,
and we are kind of centrally located. If you think about it, we're 3 hours from New Orleans, 3 hours from Memphis, 6 hours from Atlanta, 5 hours from Dallas, Texas. This corridor is actually right in the center of this southern region, and I really don't believe that there's a better place to do this. You'll even see. I talked about Amazon putting 20-something, almost $26 billion in the ground right here in one county. That's a comp. That means somebody from somewhere else has searched the United States and decided that this is a place that has value, that has growth potential. You'll notice another $6.2 or $5 billion development from a Singaporean entertainment company in Hernando or DeSoto County. That tells you when other people are coming from outside of this outside of this country and other parts of the country, chopping up our state, that means that they see more value than we see. So I know for sure that there's not a better place. Atlanta is saturated. Dallas DFW area has 900,000 new residents in one last year. Needless to say, that sounds saturated. Florida is saturated. New Orleans is still recovering from Hurricane Katrina. That's Louisiana. California is being drained to Austin and Dallas. Mississippi has been stagnant, its population, for the last 40 to 50 years. So I think that this is
land of opportunity.
Land of opportunity and milk and honey.
We just got to figure out how to put that opportunity before the people that might move on it.
Well, I think I've been talking with Butler Snow. They are a good aggregator of people. I've been talking with Ergon over there,
Mhm.
Mr. Lampton at Ergon. I've been talking with the guy who pretty much started Angel Investment here, works for Bradford. I don't know him well, I just met him, Bill Bailey. And so I think we get enough people on one accord. I think it's a done deal.
Well,
so it won't be
that's
easy,
good.
but what's
Well-
worth having is easy.
That's right. Stuff that easy come is easy go, as they say.
Exactly. Sir,
Yes, sir.
it is always a pleasure.
Thank you.
I
Thank
hope
you. I
we'll be doing
appreciate
more
it.
of these and interviewing some
All right.
different people and get their perspectives because
Okay.
we really need all people in on this.
Mhm.
Everybody that's a Mississippian has something to say, and they're valuable, and we want to hear from them and empower them to do their. You don't have to do what I do.
Mhm.
You can just do the thing that you feel that you can do.
Well, let me say this in parting. I went to Google
Yes.
and pulled up Mississippi musicians and Mississippi athletes and things like that.
Yes.
You will be amazed at the
That's
number
what all
of
of that
pages.
is?
Yes, this
Wow.
is just this has. Let's give you a few: Gary Collins, Morgan Freeman, Jim Henson, James Earl Jones, Tom Lester, Gerald McRaney. I mean, these are all names that you've heard of.
Pages and pages.
Glenn Ray Tudor, Robin Roberts, Shepard Smith, Oprah Winfrey, Jerry Clower,
Wow, Jerry Clower.
Ben Dominich, William Faulkner, Shelby Foote.
Zig
Richard
Ziglar
Bowen.
was from here.
Yeah, yes, he's in the Z's. I ain't got
Yeah. I'm still in your thought.
John Grisham, Beth Henley, William Morris.
Oh,
I mean, I could go on and on. I mentioned Barksdale earlier. There are Bernie Evers was from here,
Yeah.
Robert Johnson, and Harley Peavy, Fred Smith, who founded FedEx, Zig Ziglar. I mean, it's just
It's astonishing.
it's astonishing, and most of them somehow got away, probably because a lack of
Infrastructure and support. Now, you look at those names, and you're on the finance side.
Mhm.
This is called quantifying the good. What I'm talking about is the good news of Mississippi, but there's a financial, economic element to this. Look at the names that you add up. If you added up the personal net worth of all of those people, you're probably talking about $7 billion.
No kidding.
I mean, and this is not even the auxiliary economic impact of what they did in those industries and the other businesses that formed around. Because it's not just FedEx. It's a bunch of other companies that are suppliers that come around FedEx. It's not just Graceland. It's the Lansky outfitters and the Peabody that sold Elvis. So when you look at the economic impact of people who probably had $7 billion combined of personal income, then the economic impact may be as much as $100 billion by the time you get finished. So these are the things that need to be in Mississippi.
I agree.
And
there's plenty of talent here. It's not that just because you're from Mississippi, you're some kind of ignorant something.
Exactly.
That's not it at all. We just need opportunity and enthusiasm from the people that are here. If you're down on Mississippi, you're not going to be able to recruit anybody to come in.
Exactly.
Sure.
Exactly. Yes.
So, all right, buddy.
Well,
Well,
man, it's been a pleasure. I've known you probably, it's like 10 years now.
Been a while.
Wow. And you've been a good brother, more than a friend.
Thank you.
And I want us to start spreading this because if we really claim to be religious, if we claim to be Christian, I didn't know they had a black Jesus and a white Jesus and a brown Jesus and a red Jesus. I only heard it was one.
That's right.
And if that is true,
That's true.
then we all need to do this together. And if I believe that if we just all focus on this for just 5 years, because we know what can happen when people don't like each other and they separate because of race and religion.
Well, there's a lot of reasons to separate us, but there's a lot more reasons to unite us.
And if we can stay united for just 5 years, I think we can get this Mississippi thing, this Mississippi train, headed down the track.
You're a good man.
And you too, sir. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
The gospel of Mississippi.
All right.
I love Mississippi and you should too. All right, good. It didn't stop recording because that would have been a heartbreaker.